thank you everyone for joining us today. We have Mintbase, Mind Games, Metamon, FewandFar, and CertiK here joining for a discussion around the Near ecosystem, NFTs, GameFi, maybe a little bit more. So for intros, my name is Chase. I'm the social media marketing manager here at CertiK, and I'm joined by my colleague, Mikhail. Go ahead.
Hey guys, Mikhail here. I spearhead the strategic partnership initiatives, and these days I feel also like a marketing strategist, help coordinating these amazing Twitter spaces to bring more awareness to all the amazing projects that are happening on Near and Aurora. So it's great to have this panel together.
And then for those of you who may not be familiar with CertiK, we are a Web3 and blockchain security company bringing end-to-end security for projects, both large and small, and CertiK's goal is to raise the standards of security in the Web3 world. So then one of the guests, Mintbase, you want to start with a little intro, who's speaking and what you guys do?
Sure. Can you hear me well?
Yep, perfect.
Yep.
Cool. So my name is Maria. I work for community with Mintbase. And do you want me to give a small Mintbase introduction too, or just who I am personally? Probably also Mintbase, right?
Yeah, a little bit about you, Mintbase.
So Mintbase is a toolkit for NFTs on Near. You can use the UI and simply create smart contracts in 3 clicks, mint NFTs, transfer, let me say it right, batch mint, batch transfer, batch burn. We have a redeemer and lots of products building on top of Mintbase. And that happens because we are open sourced and we are a dev tool kit, basically. So you can build any product you want that involves NFT tech on top of Mintbase.js. And it's just very nice to see what has been happening in the last weeks. It's a cool project or cool company to be part of, that's for sure.
Awesome. And then Mind Games, do you want to go ahead?
Hello guys, me and my colleague from Mind Games here. I'm personally co-school, the founders. I currently work in designing the product, and yeah, basically, what can I say about Mind Games in a few words? We are a DEX and a DeFi gaming hub where we're trying to implement real DeFi tools into the games that we're trying to bring onto the hub.
Awesome. And then Metamon or FewandFar, who wants to go first?
I'll take the lead then. Hi, I'm Chris. I'm the CTO and one of the founders at FewandFar. FewandFar is an NFT marketplace on Near. We're kind of focusing on a white glove experience for a lot of these creators. We also have a minting tool set, a launchpad, and a handful of other tools regarding marketing and things like that that are actually going to be announced probably at NearCon around some of this. And we've got a fairly large team behind us. We're pretty well funded, and we get some fairly aggressive plans, and are actively working with the Near Foundation to help really drive the NFT standards forward on Near.
Awesome. Sounds exciting. And then Metamon, you want to finish us off here before we move on?
Yeah, for sure. I'm Space, everyone. How's it going? I'm the founder and creator of Metamon, and Metamon is a sci-fi fantasy franchise that is focused on developing story, content, games, and community. And we're in the process of launching our first PC game this year on Near, which will incorporate new ways of new forms of gameplay, leveraging GameFi and Web3 throughout the game.
Awesome. And then I guess on to the first topic is everything, or something that you guys all have in common here, is the Near ecosystem. So I was curious, I mean, you guys can pick and choose how you go. Whoever wants to talk first can go ahead. But why did you or your project particularly choose to build on Near, and like what benefits do you think it provides? It could be in regards to NFT or the gaming, just whatever relates most to your project.
I guess let me leave that off in that there's a few things that I think we probably all share in regards to the interest on Near. One is this kind of, it's greenfield right now. There's not a lot of people out there really pushing things in NFT on Near, and I think it's a missed opportunity for a lot of people. We've seen markets like Magic Eden blow up on Solana. And of course, we've seen all the other corresponding things on Ethereum and on Polygon that are absolutely great. And these people have been, kind of trailblazers that set this pace for a lot of this stuff. Near really brings in some unique facets to this whole thing where we've got the web-based wallet. And the web-based wallet is really, really crucial, we believe, for onboarding the general public. There's no need for MetaMask. There's no need for setting up custodial wallets. There's no need for doing all of these other things that are usually kind of, things that hold up projects on other chains. You can only grow so big when you either need to pass all kinds of legal compliance with a custodial solution, or you need to tell your users to install a third-party wallet. That's just a non-starter. And we've seen this with Nifty Gateway and like Dapper Labs, where they've been tremendously successful because they don't have those hurdles. We don't have that in Near, and that's one of the primary reasons that FewandFar, and I suspect, my colleagues here are on Near. It's a very tantalizing proposition in terms of growth overall.
I 100% agree, and I would like to jump in on this too, because basically Mintbase was hacked in 2018 on Ethereum. So we started 4 years ago on Ethereum, and it was all working fine until the gas fees exploded, as we all know. And that's another big reason why Near is great, because it's built scalably, it's sharded, and it's a wasm chain, and it makes it possible for so many things to happen that just don't function the same way on EVM compatible chains. So, for example, what we like to see a lot is in-world actions, to see people selling stuff in-world and doing all of these transactions with NFTs, be it in games or metaverses. And this is all only possible because of these basic fundamentals of Near that make it so scalable and effective. Yeah.
Basically, guys, Mindgames here. I'm Omega. We're actually built on Aurora network, which is an EVM built on Near protocol. So we are on a layer 2. Like Near, Aurora also seems to be a greenfield. So there's a lot of opportunities here. This is one of the reasons we picked it. Another reason is that, well, when we choose it, they had free transactions. Basically now they have Aurora Plus, which is also some kind of free transaction. They give 50 free transactions per month, and you actually get more if you subscribe. So yeah, it makes the gaming experience more pleasant.
Yeah, I agree with my colleagues. I feel that we had kind of the same reasons to start building on Near. In addition to that, there's a great community of builders, but also the support of Near Foundation in our project has been very important for us. Near has a tech stack that is suitable for gaming, and especially for our type of gaming, which is PC gaming. It requires a bit of a different mechanism to the typical DeFi gaming space that you see in other chains. But yeah, Near has been a great community to build on, even before the hype. So we've ridden kind of the whole roller coaster of Near from the get-go, as I'm sure some of my other colleagues here have, and we're confident that because of the builders and the culture in Near, that we're going to keep on going and keep on getting some form of results in the short term.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll make sense. I mean, it seems like in the Near, it's a lot more close knit, and Near Foundation seems to be very involved with a lot of the projects and kind of helping that growth and fostering them. So, I mean, do you guys have any insight on that? Like, how much is Near Foundation involved with you guys, or just the general ecosystem?
Yeah, so the Near Foundation is actually really, really tied into a lot of these projects. None of the people that I speak with, and I talk with some of the other partners in Near Foundation, like Proximity Labs, very, very frequently. They're really, really bullish on building out the NFT ecosystem in Near, and they are not being shy about backing projects and helping fund things and move things along. Also making introductions overall, because there's a recognition, at least internally within Near, that there's a lot of opportunity, but the market's just not where they want it to be yet. So they're very cognizant about the fact that everybody knows Near, but it's not necessarily the biggest chain, but their goal is to really elevate it up there with something akin to Solana in terms of being able to compete with the big EVMs. And the lovely thing with it, as was touched upon by Mind Games, is the fact that you can run a layer 2 right on top of it. Aurora exists, and I didn't realize Mind Games is running their own EVM on top of it. So there's just a lot of different facets that Near has a lot of opportunities in terms of building things out like that, but they're also really, really aware that growth is key. So they're being very hands-on with getting these things up and running. I would say the only thing that's really kind of a hindrance right now is just dev tools are still moving along. This is not EVM world where we have, almost a decade worth of development in it. But that said, the tools are getting, improving rapidly, and they've been making some really, really big improvements to the wallet infrastructure that I don't know how much I can and cannot talk about right now, but I anticipate that the public's going to see a lot of changes around that at NearCon in just a few weeks.
Speaking of NearCon, is everybody here joining and participating in that, or what do you guys have planned for that?
We are for sure. Mintbase headquarters are actually located in Lisbon, so we will be there heavily representing. And I just wanted to add another comment on the Near support. I also think it's super, super valuable that they're supporting the NFT space so much at this moment in time. On the same note, we have a $5 million grant on Mintbase for people that want to build out missing infrastructure on top of Mintbase.js, because I will be talking in more detail about this, but just shout out to Near. Thanks for making this possible, and let's see what people want to build with this. And back to NearCon, we will be there. We'll have lots of speaker spots and workshops scheduled, and we're very happy to announce too that we have 3 bounties for the hackathon. So we're absolutely in builder mode, but the bear market asks, right? Bear market's great moment to build utility infrastructure, very usable things. And something that we will be using there are the tickets, the NFT tickets that you can buy on Mintbase and redeem at the door and get the POAP sent to you after the event. So very happy to meet everyone there, especially the guests here. Such interesting people. I would really, really like to meet you guys in person in Lisbon soon.
Yeah, we're, by the way, Epsilon here, lead game designer for Mind Games. We will be there. I will personally be going, so I'll see you guys there. I'll probably have answers to questions, and would love to meet anyone that's a fan or wants to know more, to meet us there, find out more about the game, or just talk crypto.
Yeah, I would definitely be stopping by every single one of you guys and putting a face and a name. Chris, I think you had something to add. What are your plans there?
Well, actually, I'd like to say that FewandFar is actually one of the big sponsors of NearCon overall. So we hope everybody comes and has a really good time. And then just on that front, all the FewandFar founders will be there, and a number of our staff members will be there, and we're all very happy to meet everybody on the call and anybody listening right now. We're kind of going to treat this like an open book thing, where it's just anybody can come and talk with us, and we're going to be as available as we possibly can.
Yeah, we'll be at NearCon as well. So we'll also be showing a demo of our games. Yeah, hope to see anyone who's attending, and also looking forward to meet the other builders in the ecosystem.
That's really exciting, because I know that you've been in kind of keeping things under wraps for a while, and now you're finally ready to show a little sneak peek into what you've been building. So that's exciting to see.
Yeah, we're very much looking forward to that. I mean, we've been in stealth for a little while because we needed to, I guess, get back some of the mystery into the product that we're building, but also we made significant leaps from where we were at just a few months ago. So yeah, we're very excited for the next steps, and hopefully NearCon would be a good place to showcase what we've been up to, but also get to know the other projects, because unfortunately I didn't get the chance to go to NearCon last year. So I'm very much looking forward to connecting with other people in the ecosystem as well.
Yeah, it's nice we can kind of put everybody together here, and then you guys can all meet up in person. I'm sad I will not be there, but Mikhail will, to represent CertiK, so I'm sure he's excited to meet all of you guys as well. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, this is kind of gauged towards the gaming projects, but I mean, the GameFi and play-to-earn world has seen a really big boom in the last year. Where do you guys see this space going, and what are you most excited about in the future?
So, I guess I could jump in here. I think the biggest shift we're starting to see in GameFi is movement away from the typical play-to-earn model, which is build a game around DeFi, but rather now we're starting to see a movement towards great gaming experiences that are attached with this GameFi and earning model that we're seeing developed in Web3. So I think that's what's the most exciting thing in gaming is that this shift from just economics to experience plus economics adds a totally different dimension for both the players and the game developers. So for gamers, you're able to access a new user experience that you weren't able to access before, but also with something that you can enjoy doing, right? On the other side, for developers, especially as an indie studio, you're able to find new ways to attract players, monetize, and create experiences that you weren't able to do before. So I think these are the biggest movements that we're seeing on our side, and we're most excited about.
From our point of view, I completely agree with what you just said. More and more games will emerge and they'll become more stimulating and challenging to play. We are very excited to bring some of the actual game mechanics into the DeFi world. So bringing a game infrastructure and integrating it with all these play to earn mechanics is a really challenging thing. But I think from what we see and from what we think, this is the way forward in gaming.
Yeah.
If you guys don't mind, I would just like to tell Mind Games and Metamon that I'm super interested in what you guys are building in the gaming field. And if you want, or if you're thinking about having an in-game marketplace, this is something you could definitely apply for with the grants for Mintbase to build it out for you to have like an NFT station inside of your game where you can buy whatever it is, like cards or skins or avatars or potions or anything. Just if you're interested in this, please consider applying for the grants.
We could make an
Yeah.
uptown market in our game.
Yeah, we have it called Tavern at the moment. It's in the works. But yeah, sure, absolutely. We can connect and chat.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, so Mintbase, I've read a little bit about you guys' grant program. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, and how do you think it will improve the Mintbase and Near ecosystems? Like, how do you guys go about choosing projects? So you said that it's an application style thing. So what goes into you guys' decision making and kind of decide which projects you choose?
Sure, I'm very happy to share more about this. So if you go to mintbase.io and click, it's very clear, submit grant application, you will be redirected to our GitHub page where there are instructions. But in a nutshell, what we are searching for is for open source components that can be useful for as many products and projects building on top of Near and Near NFT ecosystem. So for example, what we are looking for, especially are teams that have experience building together, and we like teams that have in their core team a developer, an UX designer, and a business person, because we like to work with teams that are already connected and already have experience creating something together. And what we think, or what we envision for this grants program, is for the NFT space to be developed in open source, so that if you build something that other people can benefit from it, and that you can just see the tech influencing, I don't know the word, but basically shaping other projects and scaling up. So starting with small components that are scalable and that more people can make use of, and making it a more fruitful space in general, seeing people really understand the potential of what an NFT is today, what is already possible today with ticketing, for example, or redeeming of physical objects, or using it as an access key for gated groups, or being a weighted voting process in a DAO, things like that. Or I mean, what we have seen in other ecosystems that is missing on Near. So we have an appliance for a candy machine type model for minting, that you can mint your collection pieces and all of these things. So we're really looking for infrastructure. We have a special heart for utility NFTs, so stuff that will unlock other functions, that will give you access to things, that will be usable in one way or the other, and really just using this I will repeat myself, but really just using this time where the market is down and the hype is kind of on a pause to build stuff that is useful for mass adoption, for people to really understand why Web3 makes sense, why decentralized databases make sense, why transparency is so important, and why Web3 is really the future. Hope that was clear.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, you hear time and time again that the bear market is for building, and I do agree. And I think that gives projects a really good opportunity to kind of get that jump start and get moving a little bit faster, especially in this time.
100%, 100%.
So then my next question is for, let's go with Metamon. I saw that you guys are anticipating the beta release this month. What can you guys tell us about that? Like, what are you excited for? What should users be expecting? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, so just for context, our game is a PC game. We started building the project started about a year ago. We started developing the game about 8 to 9 months ago, and with this beta, we're essentially releasing the first version of our game with the GameFi mechanisms as well as on testnet, and it's going to be both on Windows and Mac. There's going to be a unique experience for users to test at first and earn as they're playing the game. And of course, the game is never really done. It's continuously evolving. So you'll get to essentially play the game as it's changing almost on a weekly basis with new updates, new characters, maps, and challenges that you can complete. The game itself is going to be a first for Near because we haven't seen a similar game like on Near in a sense of a PC game that's available on testnet or mainnet yet. But I think that it's going to give a good idea of what is possible for other games to be able to incorporate GameFi into it. In the case of what is different about Metamon from a traditional PC game is that the entire inventory system of our game is on the chain, right? So all the characters, weapons, items, consumables, everything has a representation on the chain, and that adds a different level of how you can win things and then be able to trade them and do certain things with it after. So with the upcoming release, we'll start with a taste of this and grow it over time, and you'll be seeing new things that we'll be testing as well in terms of GameFi, because it is a new field in itself. So how do we design new incentive mechanisms for users to play the game? So that's going to be exciting as well. During the beta, you're going to get a taste of both the gaming experience and the GameFi stuff as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. You said one thing that stuck out to me is that you can play it on Mac and everything, because I was looking for ways to game with my friends and stuff, and I had to go out and buy this crazy PC to kind of keep up and stuff. So I was trying to run some on my Mac, and it just wasn't possible. So I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, Mac is not the best gaming PC.
For sure. As long as it's possible.
It's possible, yeah. It's it's not going to be the best experience because the graphics card on the Mac is a bit limited. But like a big part of what we strive to do is to make sure that as many users get access to the game as possible. Especially that it's a PC game, it's not a web game. It's a bit more limiting. So Mac is very important to us, and you'll realize actually that speaking to your point is that there aren't many Mac games out there that are actually playable and fun to play with others. So for us, it's a bit of a strategic move to be on Mac and have that presence.
Yeah, I fully agree. And then so let's move on to Mind Games. So I saw that you guys have an NFT mint coming up in September. Any details you can share about that or what you're excited about?
Okay, yeah, great question. Well, we have some exciting news actually. We did not share them yet with no one. We will do it here. We have decided on a mint date for our NFTs. We call it Mint Your Mind. And it's going to happen on the 16th of September. We are excited about it because it will enable many of our gaming features we have our game in beta, well, the arena game. It's in a private beta for our community on Discord. It's challenging, it's fun. We actually had a tournament for it. And we are, as I said, we are excited because bringing the NFTs means enabling a lot of our gaming features, because all our game modes rely on these NFTs. So as soon as they're up, we're going to see a lot more from our games. Also, cloning cloning is our breeding mechanism, will also become available by the 13th of September or earlier. We'll see. So yeah, we are excited to see our games played on the blockchain.
Is your game free to play? Mind games?
Mind Games is free to play. Yes, our community is playing it. As I said, you will need NFTs though to play it.
Yeah, so you can argue basically that you have to purchase the NFTs before you have to play it. So in a sense, you have to buy it. So it's not quite free. It depends on how you can see it, because you can also like participate in the DEX farming pools, and maybe gaining some tokens from that side can allow you to purchase the NFTs in order to play the game. But yeah, many variables.
Yeah, I understand. It's a design choice at the end of the day, but I guess it's more similar to Axes in your case, right? Like you're trying to incentivize people to transact in your NFTs to be able to play the game, so you then can create like scholarships and so on, right?
I don't think we didn't talk scholarships yet, in terms that we have kind of a different approach going into that. We're just starting with so basically mind games can be viewed in three segments, in three layers. The first one, and they all have to be interconnected, and like for the trident to work, the first layer should be the economic one, where we are starting with the DEX, and basically it allows us to have liquidity for all the game assets to be like swapped, and so like you can do it in the same interface. And after that, we are trying, like, from that point, the base token cell, it's being minted, so you can use it further into the other layers, like the games. Yeah, so we are trying to create utility for the exchange via the game. So that's the synergy we are trying to aim.
What I want to add is that the incentives for playing the game we will focus on making it challenging. While you play, you get better. You get a rating. Your rating increases if you beat a lot of other players. And while playing, there will also be rewards. So we want to focus more on enjoying the game. That's the incentive. Enjoying the game and making it challenging for everyone and fun.
Yeah, so basically, we try to keep an eye on self-competitiveness, if I can say it like that, in terms that we're not just building the game around the idea that you can store it on blockchain, but the gameplay itself should be fun to play, and when you're playing with somebody else, you should want to win because of the gameplay itself. So I mean, when you rank up in the rank system, you can get more rewards to like do more stuff in the protocol. So yeah, that's our view.
Yeah, that's like the overall perspective that I'm getting from a lot of the projects that I'm talking to, that, we started in this play to earn model, and it's been so much emphasis on the earning that we've gone away from the actual enjoyment of the games. And it's nice to hear that many projects are starting to shift their focus on the gaming aspect, and it's more of the play and earn versus to earn, which seems to be a small little adjustment in the wording, but makes all the difference in terms of the actual gameplay. So thank you for sharing that. Chris, I have a question for you. Obviously what we're doing here is we're bringing all the communities together, and I feel like you guys over at FewandFar really understand the importance of community. consider yourself to be a community-first NFT marketplace. What does that actually mean? And what kind of role does the community play within FewandFar?
Okay, so I mean, as it is right now, obviously our Discord is incredibly popular. We've got many tens of thousands of people in there at this point. But what that really means going forward is that we are building our Launchpad is basically a means for creators and developers to be able to go and communicate with their audiences. So it's not just a advertisement page, if you will, or a product page, if you will. We're actually building out a suite of tools to allow you to actually keep in touch with your audience, promote things with your audience, have them engage with you. We're looking at almost like some tools that are almost like Patreon-like coming in. And we're going to be integrating basically a web-based Discord directly right into the site. So rather than just kind of like being a marketplace where it's just a dead end and like you list goods and there's nothing there, we're actually building in hubs for these creators so that they can have their people engaging with them and post news updates and do all kinds of things like that. So a little bit of a different take on doing the stuff. And I think that that's going to be a big differentiator in kind of these markets going forward, is that you're going to have, markets that operate basically like just an Amazon page. And then you're going to have things that are more like a social experience. And the social experiences aspect is where we're going with things.
Awesome. Everyone talks about the community aspect of crypto and Web3. It's very important, but sometimes projects kind of get carried away and they'll talk about community, but then never really take it into consideration or anything like that. So it's definitely nice to hear that when projects that's one of their main focuses for sure. And then kind of a question for everybody, whoever wants to chime in, is like, what competitive advantages do you think that whether it be NFT marketplace, gaming project, whatever, has over competitors in the space?
I would jump in right here. And what we always tell people is that we want people to build the marketplaces they need, be them on their own URLs or in their games or using our marketplace page or UI. We just want to empower creators to build their marketplaces. And having that said, the power of an own smart contract is not easily understood in the first moment, but when you go to, for example, DAppRadar and you look into the near NFT collections, you will see that each smart contract of Mintbase is listed as its own dApp. So by deploying a smart contract for 6.5 near in 3 clicks, you have your own dApp, your own application that you can mold the way you want to because of the open source components. So for the developers, I think this is one of the strongest points of Mintbase. I think what we're lacking right now is awareness that what people can do on Mintbase with the tools. It's definitely something we're working on and trying to get more involved. So it's super nice that you're hosting these kind of calls. Thank you for inviting us. But on the creator side, it is that every time you use Mintbase and deploy a smart contract by us, and in the future, doesn't matter where you deploy it, but as long as we index it, you're able to use any product that is built on top of Mintbase. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with 3XR, for example, who do virtual galleries that are augmented reality and VR compatible, and they are multiplayer and they're working on all kinds of things, be it chat functions, avatars, etc. But it already exists. So deploying a smart contract already gives you for free your own virtual gallery that is, as I said, AR and VR compatible and multiplayer. And you can also use for the create thing function of 3XR, where you can choose a template, choose a way you want your NFT gallery to look, and insert NFTs in there, and the royalties of the NFTs will be transformed into the royalties of the gallery. So the gallery in itself is NFT. So this is one of the products. Then you have Gorilla Shops, for example, who builds URL, an own page, your own web page. So you have your marketplace. You don't need to be a developer. You can have your individual page, name it, describe it. You can add blog posts to each NFT. You can make them buy it on your page. You do not need to insert a Mintbase logo anywhere. So it's really giving power to creators and entrepreneurs and developers for sure. So we're talking to all of these people and working on being more clear and concise in our messaging so it's better understood. But for sure, it's just the tech. We're a very tech-heavy company, and we're just here to empower as many new companies and business models and utility NFT pioneer experimenters as possible, and 100% happy to meet as many of you guys in Lisbon at NearCon as possible and just brainstorm about what can be done.
For mind games, well, we are a game built on top of a decentralized exchange. Therefore, we include a lot of features that are interesting for both crypto enthusiasts and gamers. So this is already an advantage. Our protocol has staking, yield farming, and liquidity pools that are all gamified. You can find them in the game, inside the house somewhere, or a statue. This makes things much more interesting and fun for gamers to interact with. It makes it more easier. So it should help to increase the possibility of adopting blockchain. If you're a gamer and you don't know much about crypto, joining our game may help you understand it better. And it works on both sides. It should also attract crypto enthusiasts into playing some arenas or European missions. They are both challenging and rewarding. So I consider this a big advantage, combining gamers with crypto enthusiasts.
And I guess for Metamon, the competitive advantages would be one, that we've got strong, unique IP in the form of brand, story, artwork, content, and other intangible assets. Second, we've got a superior gaming experience and an engaging GameFi implementation powered by our proprietary tech stack. And third, that we're building a unique application of a decentralized gaming franchise and economy that is community first and community focused.
And then FewandFar, I mean, we've got a couple of things going on here that we believe to be fairly significant market differentiators. First would be is that we are building kind of what we call a white glove service for larger brands and larger projects, and we're actually helping them bring their first experiences into the NFT world. So we're talking multinational brands here, and they don't want to deal with the intricacies of writing contracts. They don't want to deal with the intricacies of setting up a marketplace. So we have white labeled solutions for them. We have a minting platform for them. We have a team of marketing people. So we're making it very, very easy for those kind of people to come in, and the Near Foundation overall is very bullish on that approach because they want to attract more large brands to help bring more notoriety and, importantly, volume to the Near ecosystem NFTs as a whole. The second thing that's a big market differentiator is we're not going after purely the crypto enthusiast. The key to growth in the NFT market, as we've seen with other networks, is having general consumer appeal. And we are tackling that by making the site very friendly to regular users. We've just launched the beta, and I can't emphasize enough that it's a beta, so we're working out some things, but we have a lot of development going on behind the scenes. And that includes things like fiat on-ramps, off-ramps, being able to work with Aurora at the same time as being able to work with Near. And just overall making it an appealing experience that makes it simple for regular people to come in that don't need to know about wallets or security or any of this other stuff. They can just come in, get their assets, get their collectibles, play their games, and that's it. That's all they need to know. We're really focused on driving general consumer experience here and helping grow the Near ecosystem overall with a lot of NFT volume.
Awesome. I think that all makes sense to me. It seems like everyone has their own little things that kind of set them apart from each other. Because I mean, in this space, there are a ton of competitors and similar projects, so it's important to have that kind of edge that sets you apart. So now that we know a little bit about the projects, I'm curious to know a little bit more about you guys and like how you got into crypto or Web3 space, and then like what made you pick the industry that you're in, whether it be gaming, NFTs, like what sets that apart for you guys and kind of intrigued or piqued your interest?
I guess I'll touch on that. Well, I've been in crypto since I think 2015 or 2016, very early on. My first foray into this was actually producing a podcast called Bitcoin News Weekly, and we had the quirky little experience of interviewing a young man by the name of Vitalik Buterin before he launched this network called Ethereum. It was very quirky and untested at the time, and people were highly skeptical. I think it turned out okay. And then after that, I built out a few projects across this stuff. I've been in startups for over 20 years at this point. I've been doing it since I was in high school. So been in this space for a long time, worked on a number of different networks, and I got ushered into Near about 6 months ago or so with my co-founders. They approached me. They needed a CTO that had crypto experience. So that's how I came in. I was aware of Near before then, but boy, have I really gotten into the weeds on it now. And it's a really unique opportunity as far as chains go. And I think that if everybody on this call is doing their job right over the course of the next year or two, I think Near could very easily be in the same position that Solana is right now as a good, strong competitor to the world of EVMs.
100% agree. In my case, similar timeline as you, but only got seriously into building on blockchain about 2 years ago. Got onboarded onto Near about a year ago after I was looking for somewhere to build that didn't have the limitations of Ethereum. And I got attracted to Near because of the community and the support getting onboarded onto the protocol.
From our point of view, we have a big team. We're over 21 people now that are full-time in-house. We're combined in let's say two parts of the team. One that comes from the DeFi segment with people that have been working with MetaMask and other crypto things, and the other side of the team, which is fully games developers. We come from the gaming industry. We've been building games for, I don't know, in total over maybe 20 years. Me personally have been in the gaming industry for over 12 years. And when we kind of got together and we started talking about this, I think it's about a year now when we started discussing the project, and we actually started working on it, seeing what iterations we can bring. We started looking at other protocols. We were looking at Harmony at one point, and we were thinking, it's a great place to be, but there are already other big players there, and luckily we found Aurora to suit our needs, but it's on Near, so we were very happy when we saw the potential. We almost instantly went, you know what, this is where we're going. That's what this is gonna blow up. This is gonna be huge. So yeah.
For me, the story is a bit unconventional. I actually come from a whole different background. As you probably have noticed with me speaking, I'm not the most technologically educated person. I'm not a developer, but my dad is a developer actually. I studied social studies, politics, and museums. So I come from a very, very different background. And the way I entered the Web3 space was actually, I was testing for Corona in Lisbon. I was in line, and behind me was Carolyn, the co-founder of Mintbase. And she just noticed that I really like to talk and have a strong educative part in myself, as I have been giving most different classes, different subjects. I mean, German, yoga, English, stuff like that. So I have been in the educative and communicative position for all my life. And this is how I came in here. And it was only in September last year that I started. But before starting, the first job I did for Mintbase was going to a techno festival in Germany, where we were educating people about blockchain and making them get a Near drop, buy a beer, and redeem the beer for the NFT. So really blowing the minds of some people that were there and showing them that you can use NFT technology right now. And it's not just a future thing. And yeah, it has been a blast. And to be honest, I have been secluded to the Near ecosystem for the beginning of my very short career, but I have had the pleasure to go to many conferences until now. And I'm always very happy to see how impressed people are, especially in the DAO space, when you show them what you can do with AstroDAO and Mintbase together. It's insane because you can have a DAO deploying a smart contract, minting, redeeming, adding minters to a smart contract, doing all of these things that are the Mintbase toolkit via the DAO without you needing to be a super techy person. So I think, yeah, this is my resume on how I got into Web3. And I, to be honest, was super skeptical in the beginning because I thought it was all about investment and hype and just not really in line with my values. But I found Mintbase to be building for a better future, taking away a bit of the power that big banks have at the moment and working for a more decentralized and transparent future. So this is my history with Web3.
That's really interesting to hear about how you were standing in line to get tested for COVID, and then you met, an amazing contact that helped you get to where you are now, and that kind of shows the power of networking, and hence why I'm so excited about NearCon and all the other conferences that are coming up, where you're just one contact away from making breakthroughs. And to your point, in terms of not being technically savvy, I think that's the beautiful thing about Web3. We all come from different worlds to one place, different perspectives, and ultimately that's what's going to help the entire Web3 space evolve. And on that note, in terms of perspective, we wouldn't be able to finish this conversation without touching on security, because obviously, CertiK being the largest Web3 security firm in the space, we're all about providing full end-to-end security. So I'll ask a question, and this one is just for anybody that wants to touch on this. How have you considered security as you are building? Because innovation and security, those two things, don't necessarily move at the same speed. So I'm very curious to know some of the challenges, some of the successes that you've had as you've tried to juggle the security aspect while innovating.
I've been, like I said earlier, I've been in startups for over 20 years, and it's been my experience that if you don't architect things from day one with the idea of security at its absolute core, you're just setting yourself up to be compromised at some point. That's true of traditional web properties, but extra true when we start talking about things that have the kind of valuations that we do in crypto. Farming contracts and bridging contracts and things like that are obviously hugely, hugely important to tie down because the amount of liquidity there is just staggering. I know that when we develop things internally, and when I've historically developed contracts, it doesn't just go through an audit firm like CertiK. What we do is we do multiple steps of peer reviews internally, and oftentimes we'll pass things around just to friends that are not even working with us directly, just to get an extra set of eyes on it. Likewise, you need to do really solid principles in terms of your architecture. Killing things like, password-based logins, that's just a no. Any internal systems needs to have 2FA set up or be using SSH keys, sometimes even both. But that doesn't just come down to your contracts and your architecture overall. The other concerns is making sure that you have good operational security, and keeping your staff informed on the things to look out for and the scams that can follow. And just keeping them very vigilant about all of this, because you can have all the secure systems in the world, but if somebody gains access to a developer system that has keys to something, it's game over. So it's really got to be kind of a whole cloth approach here. You can't just focus on locking down one thing. It has to be everything overall. And it has to go through all aspects of your organization, because somebody could do something as simple as gain access to somebody's email, impersonate it within the organization, and start getting changes moved that might, be a future exploit. Social engineering is very real. If I could, impart anything upon the builders in the space, is keep that in mind, because I find that that's not something that people always keep in mind when it comes to security, because it's kind of abstract and a bit removed from the pure technical aspect of it.
I completely agree with you, Chris, because a big misconception is that you need to make sure that your smart contracts are audited, that they are secure. And although that is important, there are so many other different areas where there could be an attack vector. And, to your point, it could be something as simple as, attack through the Discord community, which, we've been seeing that recently.
Yeah, I think also, in our case, at least in the gaming context, we've got a bit of added risks as well. So security is very much our top priority, because there are vulnerabilities that we need to be constantly aware of, and ensure that we design and architect our game plus the GameFi aspects in a way that minimizes the probabilities of these types of breaches. But yeah, definitely the social engineering aspect of it is something that is harder to secure against, but there is definitely ways to go about it.
Yeah, well said. Well, I think you guys covered some very good points until now, and one of the aspects that intrigues me in a good way is that like crypto being based on communities and so on, it's easy to see like the other market participants what they have done and what worked and what didn't work, so you can like have a trajectory, a path, a walked path where you can follow as well. And yeah, I think like from the smart contracts point of view, the blockchain itself, it's made to be secure, and I think we're seeing a migration to the ways of like doing scams and so on via like community and phishing and like human error. And I think that proves that like the smart contracts, if they're built correct, like Chris said, yeah, they should work.
Awesome. I love to hear all that. As obviously as a security guy myself, it's all good to hear. It's a very important thing that we at CertiK want to make sure is not overlooked. Or, I mean, as we always say here, security isn't sexy, and it's not something that people always want to think about or talk about. But that's what we try to do, is bring it to the front of people's mind and make sure people think about it before it's too late. As we see very often, that's when it's mostly talked about, is after the bad happens and it's a little bit too late. But we are running up on the hour here. Sorry to keep you guys a little bit extra. But if you guys want to give some closing remarks or where people can find and learn more about you guys, that'd be great.
I mean, for us, you can find us on mindgames.io. You can find all the information there. You can get onto the exchange. You can get onto the game from there. You can find the white paper, which is extensive, and it'll make your mind do some backflips first. But definitely try it out. Have a look at our Discord community. Interact with a couple of people there, and I'm sure that if you get to see our community and our game for a bit, you'll be hooked.
Yeah, make sure to set the 16 September in your calendars for the NFT Gen Zero Means, guys.
In our case, just keep an eye out for our socials and website. We'll have a lot of news coming up, so yeah, just stay tuned, and hopefully you'll be playing soon.
FewandFar, we of course can be found at fewfar.com. We have a new podcast that's going to be launching here any day now called Few and Friends. So that's going to be going live. Our Discord is always very, very busy and has a massive community, and I welcome anybody here to come and join, especially all the all of my colleagues here from the call. We'd love to talk with you guys. Just keep in touch, if only just to share ideas and really kind of brainstorm on NEAR overall. And likewise, I can be found at Hayes Data on Twitter. I'm happy to talk NFTs or near tech with anybody that reaches out. So please do reach out if you like.
And for us, you can find us here on the Twitter and Mintbase Twitter. We have a very active Telegram channel too, and our Discord is also there. I would reinforce again the fact that we have a grants program, and we're looking for people to build things on top of Mintbase JS and experiment around with our toolkit, which is a smart contract deployer, adding and removing minters, minting, batch transferring, batch doing everything. And we're just very anxious to see you guys experimenting around. I'm very open for calls anytime, and to just brainstorm around things that could be built for the whole NFT NEAR ecosystem. So that's it from my side.
And for the listeners, guys, if you found any value here, please give these ladies and gentlemen a follow. They're working really hard during a time when the mainstream media is trying to create a narrative, and that there is just so much uncertainty in the space. And you guys are working so hard to develop during this time, and that's very critical and important. So give everyone a follow. As for myself, please feel free to DM me if you have any questions from a security standpoint, how CertiK is different from some of the other auditors, what our process is like. Happy to answer any questions.
All right, I think that wraps us up. I want to thank everyone for joining. This was a very good space, in my opinion. I learned a lot about all of you guys and the projects and what you're building. So I thank you guys for coming on. I thank the listeners for tuning in, and I appreciate it. And maybe we'll talk again soon.